Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tom over at TFC MMA. Hopefully, everyone's having a great week so far. It's fight week, UFC Vegas 69, and a nice little fight night card here at the Apex for us. Obviously, this card did get changed last minute. Jessica Andrade steps in and late replacement for Talia Santos to face Erin Blanchfield, as we found out last week on UFC 284. I think this is actually a much tougher challenge for Blanchfield as well. I was kind of up in the air about the last fight, but I did favor Blanchfield in this one. But I think this is a much harder challenge than Jessica Andrade. Erin Blanchfield is an animal, has proven to be somewhat unstoppable so far in the UFC. But Jessica Andrade, as we all know, one of the best women in the world when it comes to fighting, and with an awesome performance last month in Brazil, she's going to be riding a big high. So it's going to be interesting to see how she does in this one, but let's do a quick breakdown of the main card for you guys. Talking about short notice replacements coming in, Jim Miller was set, had another opponent. That opponent pulled out, so Alexander Hernandez comes in after his fight at featherweight back in December against Billy Quarantillo. He steps back up to lightweight in this one to face the veteran Jim Miller, who's been kind of riding a late career win streak. 3 straight wins, his last one coming, of course, over Donald Cerrone in July at UFC 276. So it'll be interesting to see how he does against a guy like Hernandez. Hernandez is one of those guys, as we've seen. Excellent hammer, not the best nail. And what I mean by that is his offense is phenomenal, and when he's landed on you, he can put you out, as we saw in the Dariush fight. But he's not great if you bring the fight to him, as we saw in the Cowboy Cerrone fight, in the Hanato Moicano fight, in the Billy Q fight. Billy Q kind of lasted through that early onslaught that Alexander Hernandez brings, and then was able to get him out later. So, with that being said, Hernandez does come in about a minus 225 favorite or so. Jim Miller coming in about a plus 190. I do think for prop betting wise, you got to bet Hernandez early if you are going to bet him, especially on short notice. So you could bet Hernandez round one knockout or something like that, and then maybe Jim Miller decision. But official pick, I'm going to go Alexander Hernandez on this one. I know the Jim Miller line is very enticing. I may sprinkle some money on as well at a plus 190, but I don't know if he can eat those shots Alex Hernandez will land on him. Billy Q was able to, but obviously Billy Q and Jim Miller are in very different stages in their career. And who knows how Alex's power was at 145. I don't know if you guys watched his interview. He said that cut kind of kicked his ass. He said even his dick stopped working. I know that's kind of vulgar, kind of crude, but he said it, not me. So crazy stuff there. But let's see how Alexander Hernandez does. Back up at 155, but I pick him to get the win here. Speaking about guys going switching weight classes again, William Knight obviously was up in heavyweight his last time out, but he is coming back to light heavyweight on this one. He had dropped the body fat, got the cut under control. We know he had a light heavyweight bout, missed weight for that, so then moved up to heavyweight. But as we saw, he went up too quickly. That's where a lot of people critique John Jones on taking so long to make this heavyweight debut. But I think the William Knight fight was a perfect example of why you do that. William Knight just packed on some weight, went up to heavyweight, and he gassed very quickly in that fight. And I don't think that's something you want. William Knight obviously coming off 3 straight L's, going up against Marcin Pracino, who is also coming off an L, but does have some wins on his resume against guys like Khalil Roundtree and such. So Knight comes in about a minus 115, with Pracino coming in about a minus 105. So it's basically pick 'em odds on this one. I do think, though, William Knight looks to be in excellent shape going back down to light heavyweight from what I've seen, and I think his cardio will obviously be better. So I'm going to go William Knight on this one with the win. So very enticing there. As we go from light heavyweight there, we go back up to the heavyweight division with this next one. We got Josh Parisian versus Jamal Pogues. Parisian obviously been in the UFC, had 4 fights. He's 2-2 in those 4. Not super impressed really by any of his performances. Did have a fight lined up with Chase Sherman, but that one was canceled. Parisian did have to pull out. I believe that's when Sherman ended up fighting Waldo Cortez Acosta. And we saw what happened in that one. Chase Sherman did get the L, but He's not the topic of discussion here. Parisian is, but Parisian is back. Odds on this one were coming in about a minus 250 for Pogues with about a plus 195 for Parisian. And I think that's the fair line. Like I said, Parisian does have more UFC experience, obviously, with the 4 fights in the promotion, and Pogues is just coming off the Contender Series. But, like I said, haven't been super impressed with it either. So I am going to go Pogues on this one at minus 250. And let's see how it plays out. It should be a good fight. That's all I hope for with those kind of lower level heavyweight fights. I just want some either a great fight or some cool highlights like we saw in the last one. We had Parker Porter versus Justin Tafa at UFC 284. Neither of those guys really in title contention. Kind of that lower echelon of the heavyweight division. So just put on a good fight. That's all I ask for. And as we go, co-main event, we got Jordan Wright versus Zach Poaga. Zach obviously coming off of The Ultimate Fighter. He was one of the finalists and was actually the favorite going into the fight with Muhammad Usman, but Muhammad Usman did end up putting him out. That was at heavyweight, though. Zach is going down the light heavyweight, obviously former NFL player, great athlete, thought he could make the cut down to 205, so I'm excited to see how his power translates going down, going up against Jordan Wright. Obviously, Jordan Wright is coming off 3 straight losses, but against some decent competition. I believe his last win was mid-2021 against Jamie Pickett, yeah, the guy Bo Nichols going up against. So it'll be interesting to see how Wright comes into this one. He's obviously a pretty big underdog, coming in about a plus 230, and Poaga coming at a minus 275. I think the UFC likes Zach. He did well on The Ultimate Fighter, a real good guy. So I think that's why they're giving him kind of a matchup that he can win. It's a winnable fight for Zach. So I hope he can get the win. I think he will get it done. I think he probably gets it done inside the distance as well. But another tough alumni, so I'm really excited to see how he does in this one. But give me Zach Poaga on the win on that one, guys. And as we go to the main event, like I said, this one was set up on short notice. Jessica Andrade took this fight last week, but if there is a woman I'm confident can just get off her couch and hop right in, it is Jessica Andrade. Obviously, the number 3 ranked right now, going up against number 10, Erin Blanchfield. And we have seen Erin Blanchfield dominate the younger competition. I am very high on Miranda Maverick and think very highly of her as an up-and-coming contender, and Erin Blanchfield was able to dominate her when they fought. And Jessica Andrade, same thing. Lauren Murphy's a great fighter. Amanda Lemos is a great fighter. Jessica Andrade made very easy work of both of those girls. Obviously, submitting in the first round, Amanda Lemos, and then beating the ever-loving dog shit out of Lauren Murphy last time out. So it's going to be good. It's going to see how can Erin Blanchfield handle being touched up a bit, because I think we all can agree Jessica Andrade will touch her up at some point in this fight. But can Erin Blanchfield deal with it? Can Erin Blanchfield get her to the ground, possibly get her in a crucifix like she had Molly last time? And she really was landing some heavy shots on Molly. Molly's face looked like a tomato with how red it was. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. This is one where, just as an MMA fan, I'm really excited to see it. This is old school versus new school. It's tough to call Jessica Andrade old school, where she's still not super old and she's still out there getting these wins, but she's of that last generation. And Erin Blanchfield is one of the people. She's probably the newest of this new generation, one of contenders that's actually getting up there in the rankings. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. But I look at who has more ways to win. Andrade has great grappling, and I do think she neutralizes the grappling of Blanchfield and wins the fight on the feet. So my official pick is Jessica Andrade, but I will not be surprised at all if Erin Blanchfield gets the win here, because I am very high on Erin Blanchfield, and I would have picked her over Talia Santos in my original video I was going to do for this. So there's the main card picks there, guys. I'm just hoping for a good night of fights. Didn't want to break too deep into the prelims just because I didn't have quite as much time tonight, and it is a little bit of a weaker card. But next week, February 25th, we have a huge card coming up with the Krylov-Spann main event. We got Trevor Peek on the main card, a guy from here in Chattanooga. So really rooting for him there, and a lot of awesome fights on that card. So I look forward to watching these ones, giving you guys a recap video on Sunday. And then next week's card should be really exciting. So hope y'all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you.